Let me become a little bit parochial at this stage, Mr. Chairman, with your permission. The good secretary has mentioned 31 projects being reviewed at 940 billion pesos, 135 ODA funded programs, updated list of flagship projects. You know, Mr. Secretary, I was still in short pants in Iloilo. We're already dreaming of the Iloilo Guimaras Bridge. And last year, about a dozen or more of my kababayans lost their lives with an accident in the sea because of the crossing between the Guimaras Strait. A very short span of about 2.5 kilometers between the Iloilo and Guimaras Island. The Panay Guimaras Bridge until now is still a dream. We have not seen it move, notwithstanding the fact that Secretary Villar, when she was newly appointed as Secretary of the DPWH 6 years ago, assured us that this bridge will find fulfillment before his term ends. Up to now, it is still a dream. May I know exactly where we are, Mr. Secretary?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Minority Leader, this is one of our flagship projects. As you know, there was a shift from financing from China to Korea. The Koreans did a due diligence, submitted a new feasibility study in the first quarter of this year. That went through the NEDA ICC. The feasibility study reported a cost reduction from almost 190 billion to 187 billion. The NEDA ICC has approved that. According to the DPWH, the detailed engineering design will start in October of this year. Will start in October of next year. The reason for that is they are right now in discussion with Koreans on the loan financing for the detailed engineering design. So that is where we are, Mr. Chair.
The 187 billion is for the Panay Guimaras Negros Bridge Project?
Yes. The two bridges, Panay, Guimaras, Negros.
That's right. If it's only Panay Guimaras, which is a shorter span, how much would it be? Because 187 certainly is a challenging project in terms of cost, and I do not know whether I assume the internal economic rate of return has been inputted, but I would, you're saying that the detailed engineering study will still start a year from now. So I do not know if aabutan ko pa ito in my lifetime, Mr. Chairman. The detailed engineering study will take at least 18 months to 24 months, and then the bidding process, etc. Baka po aabutan pa ito ng 5 taon before we can lay the first cement bag. That's why I go back to my original question. I assume this will be in phases, so I would like to be in phases. So I would like to think that the Panay Guimaras phase is much shorter. It's only about 2.5 to 3 kilometers. The Guimaras Negros portion is about 25 kilometers or 10 times longer, if I recall correctly. And therefore, may I seek your opinion as to whether or not we can do this by phases. Maybe we can start it before your term expires, Mr. Secretary.
Certainly, it will be done, Mr. Chair, by phases. Let me ask Yusek John if we have some more details, if the Chair will allow.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you, all the honorable members. Mr. Chair, in answer to the good senator's point, yes, actually the proposed implementation of this project is phased. The first phase that we expect to proceed is the Iloilo Guimaras or Panay Guimaras section, because this is, as pointed out by the good senator, this is shorter. In point of fact, also the second phase is also subject to further alignment validation on the side of Negros Occidental. So we can assure the on behalf of Secretary Carl that we are working with DPWH to ensure that the first phase will move forward as quickly as possible in terms of the detailed engineering design. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So again, the timetable is that the detailed engineering design will start only in October of 2022. Ganun ba yun?
Mr. Chair, Secretary Carl, if I may continue, actually I understand that the detailed engineering requirements, which includes also the right-of-way acquisition for the starting points of the bridges, are part of the proposal right now by DPWH in the 2022. But that is subject, of course, to the approval of the Congress. So, but
Mr. Secretary, please, right-of-way issues, sa dagat dadaan ito eh. Alam ko kung saan mag-uumpisa ito. Sa barangay Guaan in the municipality. So, alam ko, wala namang right-of-way issues doon eh. At saka, tatawid ito sa Guimaras Strait. I cannot understand what right-of-way issues are you talking about.
Mr. Chair, may I continue? Actually,
Yes, please, go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. The senator is also correct again. There is no right-of-way, but the preparation, Mr. Chair, of the access points, as well as the conduct of the detailed engineering is what we are planning to work on for the first phase of this project.
Okay, so can you give me again a definite answer on a very broad scale? What is it? What is the timetable for phase 1?
The detailed engineering phase 1, Mr. Chair, as we have checked on the DPWH input, is we start with the detailed engineering by October 2022, and this will move forward to construction by 2025. This is based on the most recent targets of Public Works, Mr. Chair.
Well, okay. So just to reconfirm, the detailed engineering study will start in October, 1 year from now, October 2022, and the actual construction will start 5 years from now in 2025. Ganun ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The expected completion is by 2030, according to Public Works.
Expected completion. Wala na ako sa mundong ito pagdating ng panahon na yun. Anyway, can you just confirm that in writing, submit it to the chairman, and I give a copy? I really, my people in Region 6, expected this because it will improve the lives of the people of Guimaras, because it will be opening a very a tourist destination which would be very substantial in terms of revenue, in terms of improvement of the lives of the people there. But to be honest with you, Mr. Assistant Secretary, I am totally disappointed at the attention given to this project, as evidenced by the timetable that you have just mentioned on the record. Nakakalungkot po na matatapos ito 2030, 9 years from now. Pag-uumpisahan lang ito ng 2025, and you start the detailed engineering study 1 year from now. Nakakalungkot po, but I guess that's what we have to face. I just want to the NEDA and this government to be candid to our Ilonggos and tell them that this is what it is. Rather na paasahin niyo kami, sa umpisa nitong administrasyong ito, sinabi ng Secretary Villar, mabubuo po yan. I was there when he ventured, when he committed that. 6 years after, we're still talking to the funder, and the detailed engineering study will only start 1 year from now, and the construction will start only on 2025 and completed 9 years from now. Nakakalungkot po, and I must state that for the record, but I assume we just have to bear with that frustration, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chua. You know that I have been following this up with you. Hindi po ako nagkukulang, but I cannot understand, this inordinate delay and I suspect lack of attention and lack of support for this very important project, Mr. Secretary. Okay, so I would expect that letter to be submitted, confirming this timetable.
We will submit, Mr. Chair, Senator Drilon.